So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Harry.
And I'm Tony, and we're from the band Defects.
And we're some questions to say about the new album, Modern Error. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to it so far?
It's been nothing short but overwhelming, really. Like, honestly, like, we cannot believe, like, the comments that have kind of been left our way and the reviews that we've had. It's just been... what an experience, you know.
Yeah.
Can't wait to like carry on playing these songs out in, you know, doing the festivals we're doing this year and just keeping up with that vibe that's been thrown about our way. So
yeah, we've been sitting on this album for quite a while now, so to know that it's actually out there for anyone to listen to is still a bit surreal. But yeah, the reviews are amazing, and what we've heard from people in the release shows we did, it's just been amazing so far. So yeah, can't wait to jump into the summer and experience it more with people.
Hell yeah, your calendar, I was looking at it like they're busy, they're staying busy. There's a lot of cool shit on there.
Telling us we literally start rehearsals for it tomorrow. So we're
fun.
So we start tomorrow, and then we'll be out until the end of the month then, and then there's a lot more other exciting stuff, so it's busy.
Absolutely. Well, the record is fucking awesome. I was over here air drumming the entire time. I was so into this record.
Good. I mean, that's the aim of the game when I was writing the drums. So there you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Record was incredible. The sound is like one of my favorite sounds ever. Just that genre. You guys fucking nail on the head. It was perfect.
thank you so much. You know, with this album especially, you know, I stand like for all of us when we say like we wanted to make something that was way above what we've done in the past and sounds like us. You know, and something that we truly wanted to do as a unit. You know, everybody in our individual projects, we had things that were different to what we want to do now. So it was like everything in that moment, it needs to count.
Yeah.
And that's how Modern Era was made. So it was so glad you like it, and thank you for listening to it.
Of course, hell yeah.
Yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
So the album title is a way of reflecting on, you know, the current affairs in the world, and it was a good way of kind of piecing together a story, and having each song do that, you know, tell a chapter of life and personal experiences. I mean, the album artwork kind of ties in with that because you're looking at the planets, you're looking at everything as a whole, and that's kind of how it, you know, ties into Modern Era. So it's just basically reflecting on real world situations, you know, as real as it gets, and I'm pretty happy with what we've done with it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Makes sense.
So can you guys tell us a little bit about your writing process for the record?
Yeah, so you know, with writing, it's always been from a kind of place of trauma, or you know, just something that's going on in the moment that I've seen, and you know, everyone's different with their writing. I mean, like I'm sure with Harry, sometimes he can think of a really fantastic rhythm, or he's got a melody. For myself, it's all like chorus related first. I'll write like something really cool chorus wise, and then I can kind of piece together a song around it. With Luke, it's all guitar riff orientated, and he'll have some like cool little guitar licks and stuff. But it's mainly, you know, speaking for myself here, it's mainly to do with the subject matter that then gets transformed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think there's a much deeper writing process with Tony, obviously doing the lyrics and everything as well, and some of the themes on the album are extremely deep. From my angle, it's just making sure that the pace is kept up with the song, you know, and like whatever I'm listening to will definitely influence what I'm writing at the time. But I'm also quite old school and implement a lot of things that I used to listen to when I was a kid and first learning drums. So there's a lot of different things in there from everyone really in the band that kind of like makes it what it is. Everyone's got a favourite band, everyone's got a favourite genre of metal. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix match of everyone's different ideas of what they wanted it to sound like.
Yeah. And is it like one person bringing an idea to the table and you guys all kind of collaborating on that, or is it starting from scratch, you guys all together like in a room?
I mean, the way this band first started, before we got everyone in the lineup, was me and Luke, and a lot of the writing had been done prior, and we kind of have this like unity, me and him, with songwriting, and then we'll bring the songs to the table, and then everyone can like say their piece and work on stuff with us. I'm sure in the future that'll be subject to change as well. Like we want to try that and see where that goes, because everyone's got great ideas, bringing it forward. So it's something that we definitely won't rule out. But it just so happened to be at the time when it was, you know, me, Luke, and James that we took on the bulk of the writing, and it just happened to work. So,
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So, what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorites?
You take this one first, Harry.
Personal favorite song off the album.
Yes.
Oh, that's a really hard question. I think playing wise, like in terms of its Broken Bloodlines, simply just because the breakdown and the chorus in that song is like, it's brilliant, like, and it's so fun to play live as well. But in terms of, it's like you can't just pick one. I'd say it's Broken Bloodlines and Echo Chamber. Echo Chamber has got my favourite chorus on the album, and Broken Bloodlines has got my favourite breakdown on the album and my favourite drumming. So Broken Bloodlines probably wins because I've got more reasons to love it. So Broken Bloodlines, I'd say.
Gotcha.
For me, it's got to be a tear up between Echo Chamber and Recurring. I love Broken Bloodlines as well, and when choosing it, I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be choosing that song because I love every single one of them equally. But if I had to go with one based off of live and on the record, I think Recurring, like, even though I love Echo Chamber, I think Recurring steals it for me because it sets an atmosphere in the crowd like I haven't ever experienced before. And honestly, you just feel like you're one big family by the end of that chorus and everyone's vibing. And it gives us like the most movement. You know, we get circle pits, we get, mosh pits, we get walls of deaths in that song. Is a fantastic song all around. So Recurring.
And then which song took longest to write off that?
Broken Bloodlines, actually. Originally, Broken Bloodlines wasn't meant to be on the album. We kind of settled at a 10-track album, but then after negotiations with our label, they wanted extra. So we had, I'm very glad they did that because Broken Bloodlines was just benched. We had a different chorus for it, and it just weren't working, but there were some really good elements like the verses and stuff, and I always loved the breakdown and stuff. So went back to the drawing board after about a year of it sitting on the bench, and then this new chorus came about, and it just was like bam, and it went from being a song that we might have used in the future for album 2 to one of our singles for the first album. Same with Echo Chamber. There was parts of Echo Chamber that were written back then as well. So
Echo Chamber went through about 4 or 5 different versions. I mean, I remember there was like a 7-minute version of that song. Like there was which might be heard in the future. You know, there was literally like a few versions of that song because we kept trying to get it shorter and shorter. Because it, like, the first original draft of it was like 6 or 7 minutes long. So that took a minute.
What was that process like, whittling down a 7-minute song? That's insane.
It was not easy, let's just put it that way, because I mean, this band, there's a lot of strong opinions, and there's a lot of people who, including myself, that are like, no, this sounds better, no, this, like, it's kind of one of those things. But I think, like, as long as you've got the core elements to the song, and like everything else kind of becomes secondary. And it took a minute, and like every version was great, and I think there was a lot of compromise, and I think there was a lot of, like, as long as the chorus doesn't change, and as long as like the key elements of the song don't change, then it's pretty straightforward really what needs to be taken out and what needs to be kept in. Like, it's not easy, and it is very difficult, and there is times you just have to concede on certain things, but like what's ended up coming out is like an incredible song for us, and we love it a lot. And I can't even remember what those versions sounded like now, to be honest with you. I'd have to really backtrack on it.
To give you an idea of what the 7-minute one sounded like, take the emotion that's already there and just put a few more sections in it. That
pretty much.
That's kind of what it was. And it really was a song of venting. And when I showed the guys the 7-minute version, they were kind of like, but we wanted to have this as a single. We can't lead with a 7-minute track. After a lot of back and forth, we ended up finding something that really balanced everything we wanted in the track. The heavy breakdown, the emotional section in the middle. It was a real like meet in the middle for everybody.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
That makes sense.
Love it.
And I'm curious, like you mentioned, you guys sat on this one for a while. This record, can we get like bookends of like when you guys started writing it and when it was kind of finished recording?
Yeah. So back in like the end of 2019 is when we started this. I was still in my old band. Harry was still in his old band at the time. So like the idea of Defects was supposed to be like this fun side project. But when we started with End of Days as our first song that I'd co-written with Luke, it was like, this is really like our kind of music, a step in the right direction. So once we got the full lineup and stuff, like it was a no-brainer to like make this our full-time thing. And obviously with Harry, with Shapes ending, it was like, this is, it was like a, let's do this moment. But the album, God, when did the album finish as a 10?
It would have been finished as a 10 track in like 2022.
Yeah.
And then it was finalized, mastered, ready to go like April last year, maybe April, May.
Because of the extra tracks, we had an extra 4 that we put in. So from the intro to the interlude to the to the 2 singles, that's a body of work that spans over 4 years, and it's like it's crazy. It really is like a life's work. That's one album. Most bands would be on their second and possibly queuing up for their third. So it's been a big one, and we just hope that we can keep the momentum that we've gained from this.
Absolutely, that's crazy. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer, shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Nothing was set in stone, to be honest. And I think I've said it before in interviews. It's like that's one of the things that kind of struck us quite quickly. Like, we were like, oh shit, we need to come up with an order for this. And I think there's songs that obviously stand out as being endless. Like Gone to Waste is like a really classic end to an album. It's long. It's got that classic emotional outro to it that really sets the album to an end. And then Scapegoat at the start of the album really hits you in the face. Like, I think there's definitely good bookends, like Scapegoat, Gone to Waste. But yeah, the middle was really difficult, and I kind of left that. I took a bit of a step back with that and kind of let Tony take a lead on it, really, like more than anything, because obviously it's every song has a story and has a meaning behind it, so it wouldn't really make sense if certain things were in certain places, and obviously musically it needs to make sense as well.
It sets a theme as well, always about the message. But when we was writing, in terms of what we'd written first, it went End of Days, then we'd finished Scapegoat, then we started working on other tracks in the middle but didn't know where it went. And I always had this like visualization that like Gone to Waste would be the final track. Didn't know it would end up becoming that, but it was like that. That's why, I always visualized this kind of like epic, softer song for the ending song. You look at a lot of albums and they do have that big album closer, and that was my kind of like, all right, I'm going to try and represent that as well. We'll do something, like that.
Yeah.
The middle was hard. The middle was difficult, as there's a lot of heavy tracks. At the time, we didn't have a lot of rocky tracks to help space it out. I think the next record will be a bit more divided like that, so it makes it a little bit easier to slot stuff in. But it was hard to make that dynamic smooth from heavy to light, so it wasn't all just hit you in the face and it becomes stale, so it was really thought out.
Gotcha. So would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
I'm going to let Tony take that one, because my whole thing is, sick, a riff. Let's see how mental I can make this drum feel. But with Tony, there's a much more of like a mental dive into that kind. My mental headspace in that time is kind of like go faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tony's is a lot different.
Sick.
I think,
yeah.
That's so funny.
Because I've always used music as a therapy growing up, like. When COVID hit and we were writing the album, I think everyone was probably at their lowest, right? And some of my lowest points have been like put on record because of this album. And yeah, there's some nice riffs, and I like we try and make stuff catchy and this, that, and the other, but ultimately it comes down to like just the raw emotion, and that's one thing that's been picked up, by everyone who's listened to it, is it just really feels real, instead of it being like this, it's a collection of songs, it's a collection of experiences. But yeah, some of my lowest points have been, on this record. And some of my highest points have been on this record as well. But it's a tool to basically go, like, it's my own therapy. That's how.
And putting out such a personal piece of music, obviously there's nervousness and anxiety in putting out any sort of music. You're showing it to the world, but with it being so deeply personal to you, was there any sort of added stress going into it, like showing that side of yourself to people?
I think like it was stressful for me because I was like, one, I sometimes hate being in that mindset, and to write that kind of stuff, you have to really feel it, and sometimes you do feel like with Echo Chamber, I kind of had to force myself in that situation. I knew what I wanted to write about. I didn't want to get upset, but then the more I indulged into writing that track, it really was like an upsetting piece to write, so it's bittersweet, and there's an element of stress and anger and upset, from writing these things, and then there's also the added anxiety of like, did I go too far? Will this resonate with people? Or because at the end of the day, like I'm putting my experiences on someone else's music as well. I don't want to make this all about me here, but this is my way of venting, so you've got to try to do that in like an equilibrium,
Yeah. And when you're writing about these experiences, if you're pulling them up from the past, how are you kind of taking care of yourself and like making sure that you're still okay mentally, or are you writing them as things are happening and it's just kind of like stream of consciousness?
I think it's like with some of the experiences like Echo Chamber, there's things that creep up from the past that leak into the present, and it causes me to write stuff, that obviously because of what I've gone through, it's not something you forget about, but this album was really an attempt of like, all right, if it's still on my mind, I'm gonna lay it out on the table, and now I have it there, and now I'm gonna try and move on from it. Things come about, and that's what kind of makes me want to write about it.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it'll be in the present, like Gone to Waste and Recurring and Another Heart to Bleed. They were kind of written in that era, but ones like Echo Chamber, Scapegoat were all from the past. And then there's a few in there like End of Days, which is actually about awareness and a message to do with the real world, same as Lockdown, but that comes about in the present when it was written.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should do in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is workout album, party album? What do you guys personally recommend?
I always say headphones, really good headphones. As like that's why what I always used to like listening to a record for the first time on. But then also, like, I've listened for the past 2 years, I've listened to most of these songs when I've been in the gym. They're great running songs. I mean, the heavier songs are great for when you're doing weightlifting.
Yep.
I mean, to be honest, we don't really care how you listen to it. Just listen to it. That's whatever your preferred way of listening to it is. You could put it on when you're trying to get your kid to sleep. I don't care. Like as long as you're enjoying it, as long as you're having a good time, then it's all good with me, man.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, obviously it's nice to listen and indulge with headphones on, and it is an experience like this album because of how raw it is, but you can listen to it how you want to listen to it. If you want to keep motivated, go to the gym and listen to some of our heaviest work on that album, do it. If you want to get down and personal and listen with your headphones on and you're chilling in the evening and you want to listen to some personal tracks, it's all there. You know what I mean? There's something for everyone on this album, so you can listen how you want.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
Wow. This is tough. I'll let you go first.
You're the one who's supposed to be good with words. I'll just hit things.
Yeah, but I don't write a song in 3 words or less.
That's fair. That's fair.
If I did
Yeah,
it,
I mean, very good point. Heavy, emotional, meaningful.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That's good.
Come on. Now you. Come on, let's have you.
now I've got to like not take any words that you've said, and
Yeah,
I feel
you
like
can't use my
The
words.
pressure is on when you're the last one going.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why
see,
you
you
always go
spoke.
first.
You spoke too quick with that one. So you kind of done yourself in there.
I'd say honest, therapeutic, and cathartic.
Nice.
Ooh,
There you go.
damn.
Shut up, Harry.
Shit, son. Respect. Pulled that one out the bag. Fair play.
Step up.
And in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I think it's mainly to be open-minded and like listen to it with, you know, because it was the same as me in Linkin Park. Like I'd listen to songs and it would actually get me through stuff. So we hope that there is something there for you. If you are down in the dumps, if you're having a bad time, there is a song there that's going to help pick you up and you can relate to. That's the point of music for me personally, not just about having great songs or like being catchy. It's ultimately like having songs that can lift you out of a situation you're in and help be that, you know, for you. So
yeah, I love that.
In one emotion, how do I do that in one emotion?
You don't need to do it in one.
Oh yeah, this one isn't locked in. No,
yeah, it's just explaining it.
Yeah, you're setting yourself a challenge there.
I mean, if you want to try.
It's harder from here.
Yeah.
So, are you guys able to talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments in the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, like, Harry, do you want to go first? I keep saying this.
Yeah. I think, you know, I mean, it's kind of when you kind of reflect on the time of when everything kind of got locked in terms of membership and actually turning around to each other and going, let's give it a go, you know, like it's kind of hard to think about really and think about the negatives and the positives because all you want to do is focus on the positives, you know. And I think a big thing for a lot of us was like, are we ready to make that personal sacrifice again to try and make this work? Because being in a band and trying to make a name for yourselves, it does. I've been doing this since I was 16. I'm 29 now, and there's a lot of personal sacrifice that comes along with being in a band, trying to make it. You know what I mean? Like you miss out on a lot of important events. You can't. Arguably, you can't live comfortably financially. It takes a massive toll on your mental health when you're a long way from home for a long time. And I think that was a big moment for us when we were like, okay, shit, this is actually going to start. This is happening again. You know, I thought I was done with it, or when my last band broke up, I thought I was done.
Yeah.
And this kind of thrusted me back into it in a good way. Like, that's not me saying it was against my will or anything, but yeah, there was a big decision to be made there. You know, I think on everyone's behalf. It's like Tony's with Tony and family, and Luke and family, and everyone and family really, because they've probably already gone through a lot with us being not a lot around a lot. You know. So yeah, that was a big decision. But then when we started doing shows again and realizing this is what makes us happiest, it's a double-edged sword, you know, like that's where I'm at with it, to be honest.
I think for me, like when you've got something that you know, in the pub you had like the first album, you know, there are moments of like success where you feel like what you've done hasn't been for nothing. And like all the pain and hardships that you've gone through in the last couple of years have been worth it. But the negatives for me is like the expectation I think I set for myself, and I'm sure the other guys in this band have the same thing. It's like the expectation of what we want to achieve and how hard we all push ourselves. It can be very uncomfortable at times. You know, we are human, but what we're striving for is trying to be as best as we can be in a very dog eat dog world, and we're trying to leave our footprint on the world, you know, as best we can, and it is tough. So it comes with a lot of mental episodes from all of us going, is it, you know, is what we're doing good enough? Are we, you know, are we going to go forward or are we going to go backwards? And there's a lot of anxiety with this profession for sure. But then when you're doing shows like Download and and like for us, we're doing our first proper festival run. Those little things you have to hold on to, regardless of how hard it may be and how much work it may be. It's all going to be worth it in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So for this question, I want you guys to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Well, look, hold on 1 second here. We've got to set some parameters.
Okay.
Are you in Europe? Are you in England? Or are you in America?
Oh, let's hear all three.
Okay, here we go then. So America,
Okay.
if it's a Buc-ee's,
Okay.
it's a brisket on the board with extra barbecue sauce and jalapenos.
Oof. Okay. Solid.
And a bag of extra hot Cheetos.
Ooh, solid.
If it's in the UK, it's either a Greg's, which is a bakery, or some sort of salt and vinegar flavored crisps. I like my snacks, all right? This is a big thing. Yeah. So
out of anything, you chose Greg's.
Mate, it's the best one. Like, if it's after a show, it's a McDonald's or a KFC or something like that, something filling. But if it's in the day on the way to a show, it's got to be a sandwich, something snacky. Like you can't.
Absolutely desperate, right? Like you are on your last legs, then go to Greg's.
Oh my god, I didn't know there was like Greg's.
I didn't know there. Yeah, I didn't know there was Greg's hate.
Greg's, if you're watching this, I love you guys. I eat it all the time.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sorry,
but you're gonna go the other way.
Greg's are fantastic. But if you're in Europe, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry to anyone European who might be listening to it, but your service stations are a bit dead. Like, there's not a lot going on really. Like, it's like, back me up here. Like, there's barely anything going on. Like, unless like there's hardly ever. Actually, they have a lot of Burger Kings, so I'll smash a Burger King if it's going.
Yeah, their Burger Kings out there are phenomenal.
They are. I prefer their Burger King to McDonald's in Europe, actually. But yeah, that is a much more in-depth answer than you probably wanted. So there you go.
No,
that's okay. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about these kind of things because it's what keeps me going on the road. Like America, the fact that you can go into a service station at 3 a.m. and they've still got fresh mac and cheese and slices of pizza, that's unheard of in the UK and Europe. Yeah. Like, literally, you just don't see it. So when you are English and you come over there for the first time to tour, it's literally like you've hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
I love it.
From Wendy's to freaking White Castle.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
I definitely, last time I went in, I came out twice as heavy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it was
That's America.
so worth it.
It's so worth it.
Tony, give us your snack rundown.
Right, so
all three.
It's gonna be crap. He had a snacker.
We're talking about the old me. The old me would have got.
Okay.
Right, so but the new me is very like, oh, I've got to eat chicken and rice. I'm very like on it, but
dead.
Yeah, it is pretty dead. Like, I live on a caveman diet now. You're asking the best questions to the crappiest guy you could possibly ask. So, right. So in Europe, I'd probably say it would have to be like, if we're in somewhere like Germany, it would be like, Burger King or like whatever. Get a schnitzel as well. Schnitzel. In France, like like for me, it's all about chicken. So I'll go for a chicken sandwich out there in a service station.
Solid.
Snacky foods, like they've what's the chocolate called? Oh my god, Milka. Chocolate. That chocolate, right? The UK need to know what's up, right? Because
it's not better than Cadbury's.
So what Harry didn't mention is on Wednesday when we meet up, we're going to have a fight over this. I'm going to fight you for this.
You've ruined our rehearsals tomorrow.
Is better than Milka. You, right, need to
much better. Much better.
So, right, in the US, I mean, if we're talking strict snack foods, not full meals, I literally like live on beef jerky. That's like my thing. So beef jerky and almonds are like, on a long journey, you're going through like Death Valley, you need something quick, like, that's it. But if I had to pick, it would probably be, you know what? Arby's is good. I do love a good Wendy's as well, But it's so hard to like pick one like major fast food chain.
It's all about Dave and Buster's, man. They got those buffalo wings. Come on.
That's crazy how you're going to a game place, like an arcade, for the food.
Yeah.
I've never heard a
It's
single
great
person say Dave and Buster's is the best of all the chains.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
sorry.
crazy.
Look, they've got beer, they've got sport, they've got arcades, and they've got buffalo wings.
You could go to Buffalo Wild Wings for like all of that.
Oh no,
yeah, but it's the experience.
And this is gonna. I'm not saying this for any other reason than the food, okay? So I'm just gonna let you know that Hooters have good wings.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
good wings. Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
The food is great.
Try it to go.
Daytona wings.
Yeah, try it to go.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Next question. Jesus.
Oh my God. So that's it. Snacks, check. We're done. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. Done.
Okay.
Tick.
I do love the coffee out in the US as well, even though like I'm so used to not having sugar with anything, right? Like I said, I'm boring, but you go there and honestly, like I wasn't expecting like the creamer to be sweet, but I had the creamer and everything, and I was like, whoa, like this is quite a nice coffee.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Complicated.
Okay.
It would have to be something with a lot of ingredients. Actually, no.
A lot of protein, I think. But I think
a lot of testosterone. You can say that again.
Yeah.
So maybe a good bolognese. You know.
Yeah.
Something hearty.
Something
something filling, like something that you know.
To slow cook it, and the longer you cook it, the better it becomes.
Yeah.
A bolognese. That's it.
Bolognese.
That's good. All right. And for the last couple of questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Buffalo wings with either a blue cheese or a ranch dip, with an ice cold iron brew, which is a Scottish drink. And then it would have to be with the garlic and parmesan fries as well.
Ooh, damn.
Boom.
Done.
That's
Boom.
a
Straight
solid fucking meal.
You know what?
Thank you.
Because I've been eating so healthy for the last 8 weeks. For me,
see, before Tony talks, right? Tony's got this thing where he can't talk about food without talking about Tony will take a bite. Tony will take a bite of any meal and go, wow, this is the best thing I've ever had. This is like, and then he'll do a Gordon Ramsay and really go into the depth of flavour.
I really dive into flavour.
Yeah.
So honestly, if we're here for the next 20 minutes, you've done it to yourselves. This is the best burger I've ever had, and he'll be talking about like a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Oh my goodness.
It's mental.
Experience.
It's genuinely. But yeah, crack on, mate.
He says, all right, they've upped their game. All right, but that was like 8 weeks ago, so I don't know. It could have changed. But right, if I'm on death row, it's got to be a chicken katsu curry, right?
Ooh, yes.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. But we ain't going to be chicken and rice, mate, is it?
For the last meal.
Let's face it. Chicken katsu curry with like a good portion of those chicken gyozas or what they're called, they're really really nice, like deep
fried dumplings.
Ooh, yeah.
Just like, and then got to finish off with like a massive latte and a massive portion of Ben and Jerry's cookie dough ice cream.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite thing. So
yeah, standing ovation.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm going to cry now.
Yeah.
He's going to go make it. He's going to go make it, and then he's going to bore me for the next hour about how it's the best katsu he's ever made.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's beautiful.
Great.
That's really awesome.
I do the same with a lot of things anyway.
I do this thing right because I love mayonnaise. Like mayonnaise is like my. That sounds weird, but mayonnaise is my spirit animal. But
that's a crazy choice of food to say that for.
But mayonnaise I have with like everything. I have it with a curry, so I probably would have a portion of like a side of mayonnaise with the katsu curry.
Okay, so are we talking about the same mayo?
Yeah,
100%.
Like in a tub, white.
I'm taking over from this. So, you know, a traditional Indian curry, like it's very traditional, like it is what it is. You don't put like these kind of condiments. Like you don't go to a curry house and go, "Can I have salt and pepper, please?"
Yeah,
like
no.
you just. He's trying to tell us all, right? He's trying to tell us all that he gets a big dollop of mayo and he slaps it on the side of his like chicken tikka masala with the rice.
I'm not the
and
only
he
one.
swears by it.
No, I think you are the only one. I'm gonna be completely real. I've never heard of that shit.
No, but it's not right. It's not something.
This is coming from the other side of the Atlantic.
I had a bit of too much time on my hands, and I was like, you know what? I like mayonnaise, and I like
this needs mayo.
I just put it on the side, and I don't mix it in with the sauce. Don't worry about it.
No, that kind of makes it worse because you're just having plain mayo.
I wish you would, because you can't. It's like having a beef stew, like getting the spoon of the beef stew and then dipping it in the mayo. It's weird, man.
It makes no sense.
No, I'm gonna blow your mind, right? So, like when you have like a roast dinner and you have with lamb, you have mint sauce, and with beef you have mustard, right? You're not gonna mix the mustard in with the gravy, right? And that's exactly what you should think about chicken tikka masala when you put like a little bit of mayo on the side.
You've offended an entire nation and culture.
No, I feel like you have. We should like cut this. I don't want to be associated with it.
We've been saying this for months. Like, look, ever since he just said it so casually as well. Like, you know what you need with your Indian mayonnaise? It's like
on the side,
enter one, bro.
Shave of it with the rice and the sauce. You're like, wow, chef's kiss.
I'm not gonna try that. I'm gonna be honest. Usually, I'm very open.
Yeah,
I can't.
Everyone tells me, like, no, you know what? Like, it's just gross. I'm never gonna try it. But I tried it, right? And it's changed my life.
I'm getting sick thinking about it.
Yeah, it makes me really nauseous.
Like, and I've got to make.
I have done some questionable things, right? When I used to have like packets of chicken noodles, right? I was always trying to up the game. One day I went too far and I put mint sauce on them, and I'll never do it again.
On chicken noodles?
Yeah.
Mint sauce.
Mint sauce.
You should not be allowed within 50 feet of a kitchen.
It was so bad, but because of pride, I finished.
Tony has done some really weird stuff with food.
It's
not
like,
in that way, but like he put once he didn't have. So do you know what barocas are? You know, like those fizzy mineral things that you drop them into a bottle of water and it turns it into like mineral water.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So they're orange flavour, right? He didn't have a bottle of water in the van. He had a fresh Americano. So we went, and chucked one of these mineral tablets that was orange flavour into his Americano, no milk. And then he took a sip and went, that tastes awful. And we were like, yeah, no shit.
No shit?
Like, yeah, literally.
It tasted like, you know, like when you throw up in your mouth a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now.
But like it was like a whole pint of it. And I was like,
and then you finished it. And then you drank it anyway. Like, blew my mind. I'll never forget that.
I wanted to be healthy. I wanted my vitamins that day. I was willing to do whatever it took, and it was awful. I will never do it again.
Doing whatever it takes would be finding a new bottle of water. It wouldn't be just
and then
I
think it turned out there was a crate of water under the seat anyway.
Of course.
Yeah. So, you know, like you just wasted a whole Americano.
No, that's sod's law, right? So I would have looked everywhere and I wouldn't have been able to find it until I drank it. So I had to drink it, you know? That's how it works.
Right. Anyway, yeah, go buy the album.
You're just getting a bit of an insight as to what this band is actually like. Yeah. We have
unbelievable
to start, and then the quirkiness comes out, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we were so business talking about the record, and then we brought up food, and it just went to shit.
Out the window. I mean, mayo, I don't know if I can look at mayo the same way.
I don't. It's ruined it for me.
I want to let everyone know that this album is about trauma. It comes from a really deep...
not mayonnaise, I swear.
Not mayo-based.
Yeah,
really serious.
The trauma of watching you put a dollop of mayo onto your Indian. That's what the trauma is.
Yeah.
That's deep.
The mayo helps my trauma.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was there for you.
Thank you. Hellmans, if you're watching this, you've been there for me since childhood. You go well with fish and chips.
Give that sponsorship.
I'd love that because I do love mayo, but he's kind of ruined it for me a little bit. So
Yeah,
I don't
you love
blame you.
mayo like the normal amount.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
put it on whack food.
Yeah.
Like
You don't create a new fusion that like
Yeah,
hasn't
that
happened
never-
for a reason.
Yeah, that never wanted to
I've
happen.
tried some really cool things though. You make a burger, you put right. This is going to sound weird, right? But if
Okay,
you've got
okay.
a teriyaki kind of thing going on, mayonnaise, soy sauce, and ginger, so good.
On a burger, I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
normal. That's the most normal thing that's came out of your mouth in like a good minute.
Exactly. I
Thank
just,
you. I'm so happy this is the outcome of me revealing this. Thank you.
yeah.
I'll run away to mayonnaise land. Never
Jesus.
come
Yeah, please.
Christ.
Yo, that's a great lead into the next question.
Exactly. If you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh my god, I'm psychic now.
You are. It's kind of crazy.
Well, Mayoland. Yeah, that's where we'd live. Where would I? I'm trying to because I'm a massive Batman fan, but I wouldn't want to live in Gotham City.
No.
That would be
So it would be awful. So fictional city,
Fictional world.
fictional world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't really know because all the games I play, the world is pretty awful.
yeah.
You know, like
Really
that's
think
what.
about our world and how good we've got it. Well, yeah, has its
Mm.
moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Oh, I'd live on. Have you ever seen the film Elysium?
I'm not.
So it's basically about the rich and the wealthy live on a space station that like can cure anything, has unlimited things, this, that, and the other. I'd live on that if I was rich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Badass.
that's the only thing I can think of right now because I play games like Batman and Assassin's Creed when things are really bad. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can think of.
I have a good one actually, right? Because I think that first movie was just so good and so immersive that I always wanted to see what it'd be like actually living on Pandora. You know,
Ooh.
like how cool is that world, right? The way of life, everything like that. Just to try something completely different away from humanity and just be a blue creature for a bit, you know?
Exactly. 10 feet tall.
Yeah, super strength, and it glows
Right.
in the dark and everything like that.
It does. Yeah, I mean, it's a trip for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you
Sure,
think you were on
everything,
something,
but without
but
the
yeah, attach my ponytail to some dinosaur-looking motherfucker, and I'll fly around.
You're off. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm gone, man. Like, see you later, man. Like,
See you in a week.
straight up, man. I'll climb a massive tree. Sweet.
Why the fuck
Sounds
not?
good.
Yeah, got nothing else
Yeah,
to
man.
do.
Fuck
And
it,
that's the
man.
thing, it's like a cool world and there's a lot of character building, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That too, yeah.
I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to has said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Why I don't know why we're not answering this straight away. Like this must be the most complicated question that you've asked. Red is mine.
Solid.
Harry's really thinking about this, so
Dark teal.
Ooh.
Oh.
How's that?
Shit.
Yeah.
Because I could say I could be like black because everything I own is black. I'm an old school emo kid. Like I would just wear black, but I also love purple. But teal is really ticking up. Now I'm nearly in my 30s. I'm feeling that teal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm feeling something a bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it.
That's
Love
good.
it.
I think for me
Thank
it's just as unusual because I've never worn anything red in my life. And if I did, I'd look really weird in it. So
You would look weird. You would look weird.
Damn. No support.
Yeah. I've got a bright red Bucky's top because they didn't have it in black. But I will wear that this summer for you.
That's great.
Better keep to that. We're going to have our photographer out with us as well, taking pictures of it.
Yeah,
Just
whole photo
like-
shoot.
Yeah.
You'll see it around. Keep your eyes on the socials and you'll see it.
Good.
Oh, I can't wait.
So, as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
So yeah, we obviously have a debut album out, Modern Era. You can get it on streaming, physical, everywhere good where you get your music and you consume that to good earness. We're doing some shows with Mice and Men. We are doing Download Test and Grass Pop, and hopefully we will be stateside next year. That is the plan. That is the goal. So yeah, keep your eyes
Behind the
peeled,
scenes,
and
say
hopefully
hello
we'll
to
be over
everyone.
as soon as later. Yeah,
Yeah, we can't wait.
that's the plan.
A message to the fans that we do have, thanks for sticking with us since day one. You know, it's been a long time, obviously, since we started this to now even releasing the album. But yeah, thanks everyone for sticking with us and taking something from this and connecting with us. It means the absolute world to us, you know, and continue our journey with us.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you, Sal. This guy's been Harry and Tony from Defects, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.